Dan Campbell said, thank God it's here. It is the first regular season edition of the Dungeon of Doom podcast. I'm Ben Raven. He's Kory Woods.
What up, though, Ben?
Man, it's a big week.
It's not only just a kickoff to the NFL season for the Lions, but it's in football mecca?
Yeah.
Lambeau Field?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that starting off the season against a division opponent.
Yeah, the two NFC North favorites meeting in the first week of the season. Late afternoon slate on Sunday.
Game of the week.
CBS, Lambeau Field. As Dan Campbell loves himself some Lambeau, and it's not just to do with his winning ways against the Packers. I mean, he's all about the grass. He says the grass all the time. He just loves playing there, and we're going to know a lot about this team after one weekend.
Yeah, we are, especially, with the new coordinators getting out there. This is their first real big test. I mean, we saw them operate in the preseason, but that was with, the 2s and 3s, maybe some 4s if you want to go that far. But yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I'm curious to see how these coordinators approach this game. We got one guy who has been in the NFL for many decades, and the other guy in Kelvin Shepard, who is first time in
our age.
Our age. That's what he's our age.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of wild to think about.
It is. Yeah, John Morton today talking, I don't feel pressure. I've been in this game for 28 years. Just, I get anxious, but I don't feel pressure. Yeah. Well, actually, that was Shepard saying he doesn't feel pressure.
Well, they both
let's restart that section right there. Yeah. John Morton said he doesn't feel pressure. Kelvin Shepard says, I don't feel pressure. I'm not nervous. I get anxious, but I'm not nervous.
And then he said there's a difference between the two. I mean, like I said, John Morton, he's been doing this for a while. He's been an OC before. Shepard, while he has not been a DC before, he's been groomed for the role for the past couple of years by Aaron Glenn and also with the vote of confidence from Dan Campbell along the way. So, he said, hey, I've been calling games nobody's seen in my mind just in the event was so what if AG got sick? I got to step in. So
for sure,
it's kind of interesting way to think about that, but you do got to. That is something to think about. Okay, I don't have to get ready. I'm stay ready.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got a mailbag podcast for you today.
Okay,
I say before the mailbag, let's get our predictions out of the way.
Whew.
You lead off.
Oh man, see this is bull. He's passing the ball. I think that this is going to be an interesting week for the Lions. I do think they're going to go ahead and emerge victorious. I have it somewhere like a close game, 28-21. I believe this is going to come down to the run game. Micah Parsons, we know that he's, everything it looks like he's going to suit up, and he's had some injuries that he's dealing with. But I think the real big thing is going to be the run game. It's going to, we've heard all of the coaches, well, not all the coaches, a couple of coaches talk about this. There's not going to be any Kenny Clark. And that guy has been a thorn in their side for some time. So I think this is going to be a game out the gate where Goff is obviously going to pass the ball, but I think they're going to lean heavily on Gibbs and Montgomery on this one.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm picking the Lions to win. I think the score I just shot off to Jacob for a prediction post was 31-21.
Okay.
I run the ball. Seriously, I mean, not only is Kenny Clark not on that defensive line, but Parsons is going to need an injection, it sounds like, to play through the pain. So, you take Clark off, you put a limited Micah Parsons in. I mean, this trade makes the Packers better, but the timing-wise with week one kind of works out for the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be a force at some point.
Absolutely.
This season. I just don't see it right out the gate. I think that with his injury, the injections, and just having to get into their system, there's a lot of factors that are not working for them in week one, whereas the Lions, they're coming in fully healthy, and again, a big thorn in their side is gone.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So there you go. We both have the Lions winning this weekend. We also released our game-by-game predictions updated for the season earlier this week. Make sure to check those out at MLive.com/Lions. But let's get into the mailbag. We're going to start with one from Blue Sky. Most of these came from Blue Sky. Blue Sky was the engagement farm for the mailbag questions this week.
I got to get on there.
Yeah, so that was nice. The first one from New Millennium on Blue Sky. Nobody has a real name on Blue Sky, so we're going to laugh at some usernames. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does it suck that Parsons went to the Packers instead of literally anywhere else? I mean, honestly, a 9. I mean, he is not just one of the best defensive players in the league. He is one of the best players in the league. 4 seasons in, and what he is doing is literally like up there with the upper echelon of all-time greats to play that position in the NFL. So yeah, that does suck for sure because Parsons is a game wrecker and that Packers, they have a young roster that's still kind of developing and getting better. And you throw a guy like that into the mix with Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, and some of the young pieces on that defense. And that's how you supercharge a defense. And that's how you compete against a team like the Lions for the NFC North crown. So yeah, and the next question is like the Lions are still clearly the best team in the division. I say yeah to that, but like that doesn't take away from my 9 rating. That that sucks.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on both of those. I'm at a 9. You know, even though I don't think it will have too much of a big factor in Sunday's game, down the line, if you have a fully healthy Micah Parsons, I believe that's a guy that can win you a game.
Mm-hmm.
And for a Packers team that has lost 6 of the last 7 to the Lions, adding a Micah Parsons into the mix does make things a bit scary because you have to account for that guy. If I'm not mistaken, he hasn't had less than 12 sacks in a season since entering the NFL. I mean, that's a gold jacket trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
So adding him does make the Packers more formidable. I do believe that the Lions still have the edge on them as far as the best team in the NFC North, but to act like that adding a Micah Parsons does not change things. It changes a lot.
Yeah.
And that's somebody they're going to have to account for, in this game, but later on down the line.
Exactly. And I mean, I think there's been like no middle ground in this argument either. Like, oh, the Packers are the new Super Bowl favorite out of the NFC. They're the new favorites in the North. It's like, all right, calm down on that a little bit. Like, honestly, calm down on that a little bit because Penei frickin' Sewell still plays offensive tackle for the Lions. And I mean, honestly, that's what I keep going back to for this week 1 game. You go from having Kenny Clark against a new look interior offensive line to taking Clark out of there against this new look interior offensive line. And maybe it's Parsons going against Sewell or Decker, mostly Sewell, as we've seen in previous years. I'm not going to bet against anybody to beat Penei Sewell too many times. Like, I don't care who you are. So, honestly, it's a strength on strength that the Lions are better prepared for most to combat someone like that.
And even then, Parsons definitely makes them better. But
hell yeah.
The Lions still have – Kelvin Shepard just said it earlier today when he was talking about his confidence. He goes against one of the NFL's most prolific offenses daily.
Exactly.
So Parsons is going to be a problem, but there are pieces all across the board.
Yeah.
That the Packers going to have to account for. So, I do believe the addition, increases their odds of being a contender to win the North. But let's back down. The Lions, to me, on both sides of the ball, are still the most complete team in the North and one of the most complete teams in the entire division.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I still view the Lions as the favorites, and maybe not the complete NFC, but like in the NFC North, no doubt about it. Like, I'm still like, the Packers and the Lions are going to beat the crap out of the Bears' offensive line this year. That's my main takeaway. I keep seeing reports out of Chicago, like, who the heck's their tackle? Uh-oh, have fun with that. That's going to take a minute. I like this question from Phil on Blue Sky. Shout out Phil for a couple good questions this week. National sports media often refers to Dan Campbell as one of the best head coaches in the NFL, while simultaneously not giving him credit for any offensive or defensive schematics. So what is DC's contribution? Is culture the only answer, or does he have influence beyond that? He's got influence beyond that. That's an offensive coach. Like, that is, you guys, I'm talking to everyone. I hate saying that, but I'm like talking to national sports media. I'm talking to fans too. Like, I'm talking to opposing fan bases. Dan Campbell wants you to believe he's a meathead. Dan Campbell wants you to believe that he's just a culture guy. He is an offensive coach. We've said it probably 357,000 times now. When Anthony Lynn got fired in that first year, Dan Campbell took over the keys to the offense. He took over the play calling. Yes, Ben Johnson had a voice at that table. This was Dan Campbell's offense, and he saw it not being run the way he wanted it to be run, and he took over, and he set the runway for Ben Johnson to take it to new heights. Dan's not going to delete things that Ben brought in, and he's also not going to change from who he is. I mean, the 4th down aggression, the running on 3rd down to go for it on 4th down, the trick plays, the aggressiveness. You guys, some of the creativity was Ben Johnson for sure, but that doesn't happen without Dan Campbell's clearance, belief, and offensive mind. I mean, he is an offensive coach. I don't know what his contributions are on the defense. I think he trusts his defensive coaches to set the tone on that side of the ball. He had a good one doing it for 4 years in Aaron Glenn. Now he's got a guy that was literally Aaron Glenn's protege running that show. So I think he likes the way it's going over there too. But on offense, man, this is Dan Campbell's DNA in that offense. Like, I don't care. I've tried to toe that line of giving Ben Johnson the praise he deserves, because he deserves it and he's earned it. But Dan Campbell, this is his freaking offense. It's still his freaking offense.
I look at it like this. Dan Campbell is the guy that hired Ben Johnson. We'll take that back. Let me back that real quick. Dan Campbell is the one that promoted Ben Johnson into that offensive coordinator role. A lot of people, let's just be real, a lot of y'all did not know what Ben Johnson was capable of.
Quality control tight ends coach. Yeah.
So it's like, and he saw fit to make that move to promote Johnson instead of going outside the building and getting another voice. And then the guy that he brought in, John Morton, who helped Ben Johnson create that offensive playbook and write some of the plays. Yeah. John Morton. Who did we just find out when Dan Campbell would reach out to John Morton to be the OC? Who reached out right after him to try to get him to join his staff in Chicago? Ben Johnson.
Yes.
So I'm kind of bringing this whole thing home is like, Dan, whether you want to believe he's a meathead or not, hey, let's say you roll with that. He's smart enough to know who to bring in the building to lead the offense.
Yes.
That's what matters the most. And the same thing applies to the defense. He's the guy that hired the people that you're praising. This whole, even with the succession plan, they've been grooming Kelvin Shepherd to be DC for the past couple of seasons. Why? Because Dan Campbell, the meathead, saw that this is going to have to happen at some point. So I don't understand how the guy that puts these people in place gets none of the credit for what they've done. Yeah. As if he just had no imprint on the team at all. It's kind of weird.
Once again, with the media landscape, there's no middle ground. We're trying to give you a little middle ground here. And I'll just say, I mean, he's a personnel mastermind. He is a great offensive mind who has learned from guys like Sean Payton, from Bill Parcells, from everywhere he's worked along the way. I mean, you guys, and there's a reason why it didn't take long for John Morton to get hired as offensive coordinator. And then they bring it in, like, just for the operation this year, it's going to be John Morton calling plays up in the sky in the booth. His man on the ground is David freaking Shaw.
To me, that was the sneakiest hire of them all.
It's not being talked about. Like, seriously, David Shaw is on the ground as, like, the go-to point person, watching golf, getting calls up to John Morton to go over. I mean, that's the name brand recognition alone, but, like, the fact that Dan Campbell endorses. Dan Campbell don't endorse things that don't fit what he has created here. So, yeah, he loves being thought of as a meathead because that's how he sneaks up on you, and that's how he gets you. He's an offensive coach. This is his freaking offense. Yes, Ben Johnson added creative flair, trick plays, and stuff like that, but, like, that doesn't happen without Dan Campbell's runway giving it to you.
And again, I still recall a portion of this fan base, hopefully I use the right word, a portion of this fan base giving Dan Campbell hell initially for not going outside the building to hire an OC, a proven OC. Well, now you see why he didn't. Yeah. So, I mean, I would just say let things play out. I understand that people have concerns because this is going to be new. It's going to be new for everybody. But, I mean, so far this team has, under this current regime, coaching staff, led by Dan and led by Brad Holmes, they've been clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah. Let's move on to a question from Larry on Blue Sky. Ooh, Larry coming in hot. Super Bowl win or nothing this year? Winning the NFC North the first time, okay. Second time, blah. Particularly considering the record they had and losing to a first-year QB in the playoffs. Campbell will never be considered among the best Lions head coaches until he wins the Super Bowl. Larry, I respectfully disagree with you right here. This was a team that had been to the NFC title game once in the Super Bowl era, that had never won 15 games, that had never had a first-round bye, that hadn't run back-to-back division titles since it was – I mean, the level of success that Dan Campbell's
already – have not won a division title since the realignment.
Questions like this speaks to the job that Dan Campbell has done, because now it's Super Bowl or nothing, and this guy sucks unless he wins the big one. This is the most remarkable, sound NFL rebuild potentially ever.
I understand that Lions fans have been clamoring for a winner for a long time. It's understandable. But to say Super Bowl win or nothing win, okay, first off, like I said, until the past couple of years, the Lions had not won the division title since the realignment.
Y'all only got to go back 4 years to know what nothing felt like.
Yeah. So it's like, I get it, but do you really want to go back to what things were like before then? He has to be considered among the best Lions coaches ever, at least considering, since the NFL, at least in the Super Bowl era.
In the Super Bowl era, he might be number one already.
Yeah. So I would say he is.
I would say he is too.
I just don't. I mean, I get it. You eventually want to see the Lions win the Super Bowl. Everybody does, because they're one of the few teams that have not even been there.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about taking over a franchise that is used to below mediocrity.
Nothing. Yeah.
I don't want to say beggars can't be choosers, but just enjoy this moment that you're able to watch Lions football have meaning. Yeah. You're talking about 3, 9, 12, 15 in 4 years.
4 years, guys.
3, 9, 12, 15 back-to-back division titles, an NFC title appearance. If some freaky stuff didn't happen, they were 30 minutes away from their first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There are teams that would kill. I hate to say that, but they would kill to have the success the Lions are having right now.
And it's not like they're rolling out a Los Angeles Clippers-like roster. The window's wide open. They're still, some of their best players are still on the rookie deals, or freshly into new deals. I mean, this thing has been built for long-term sustained success. And just to be with you, I'm not trying to hand out participation trophies. It is completely fine to feel pissed off if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, because they're that good.
Yeah.
Because they're that well coached. Because their GM is that good. You should be pissed off if they don't win the Super Bowl this year. But to talk like Dan Campbell is not considered one of the best Lions head coaches of all time, he has done so many things that so many Lions head coaches never did.
Here's what Dan Campbell has
never did. They won 3 straight at Lambeau, bro.
Dan Campbell, under Dan Campbell's leadership, the Lions fans, and I'm speaking to you, you have gone from the NFL draft being your Super Bowl to, hey, we might actually be able to compete for a Super Bowl.
My first 3 years on the beat, I was doing college prospect top 5 positions to watch starting in October. We didn't do those last year until listen, as I said, you can be pissed off if they don't win the Super Bowl this year. I'm going to check you a little bit, though. Don't brush off division titles. Don't brush off playoff appearances. Don't brush off playoff wins. Yeah, last year sucked, but
especially when you're not.
They didn't have a defense. They didn't. I'm not an excuse guy, but they did have a starting defense available for the playoffs. So I'm just man.
I do you want
to get frustrated.
I don't to that. There's a guy who played here. I spoke with him, Joey Harrington, who has seen the dark side of the Lions.
Man.
We talked about I asked him about their Super Bowl window, and he said these guys went 15-2 with most of their defense on injury reserve. What do people mean the window is closed?
Yeah, the window is just open.
I don't know how you could really criticize. To paraphrase what he's saying, he doesn't understand how they could face much criticism over what happened last year if you look at the context of everything.
So, yes. To sum it up, you could be pissed if they don't win a Super Bowl this year, but don't go talking crazy about hot seats or trade-in players. No, stop. If it happens, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. If we're talking 3 years from now and they still don't have a Super Bowl title, or at least haven't made a Super Bowl, then we can engage some of these conversations. Not yet, because what they've done here in Detroit is remarkable. And we're sitting here right now, and I don't have a shadow of a doubt that this should be one of the best teams in the NFL this year.
Same here. They have a tough schedule, but they're still going to be one of the teams that people have to worry about.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Another question. This is from your Instagram comments right here. Perfect. Elijah Rushing. If the Lions do not live up to expectations from an organizational standpoint and other teams become high level, do you see them potentially making any drastic offseason changes? Short term? No. Like maybe, I don't know. We've seen Dan Campbell pull the plug on a new coordinator before. If something doesn't click, like maybe that's as drastic as I'll go just because he has proven he'd do that before, but like no sweeping personnel or roster changes, even if they go 9-8 and disappoint in the playoffs again or flirt with missing the playoffs or whatever. I just don't see it. Like, I'm sorry. This thing is built for long-term success. It's easy to see. You don't have to dig far to understand that, but no, I think it would be wrong, very wrong, to overreact to anything that happens this season, even if it sucks.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Brad Holmes has always talked about it being built for long term, not just going all in right off the bat. And I think that's the way to go about it. I mean, the past couple of years they were right there, able to make things happen. Just something freaky happened. Like again, NFC Championship, freaky turnovers.
Yeah.
Last year, in Dan's words, a bizarre amount of guys on one side of the ball on injured reserve.
Unheard of.
Like 16 people on IR is a lot for a team in general, just off your defense.
It never stopped. I mean, in that playoff game, Amik breaks his arm 2 snaps into the game. He was one of the glue guys holding it together. Anzalone's playing with an unhealed broken forearm too. Like, not an excuse guy, but like last year is where I'm like, all right, I don't think we should do too many big picture thoughts. As sucky as that loss was, as good as they remained through the injuries, it's whatever. You guys know. You
had guys. You last season you had guys signed on Sunday and starting next Sunday.
Bro, Jamal Adams like practiced once and started on like Thanksgiving, and it was like, what the hell? That was not rare last season. It was rare forever, but yeah. Another one from Elijah, just because I like it. How will the Lions navigate the salary cap situation with Gibbs, Branch, Hutch, Jamal, Laporta, Jack, all due for new contracts coming up? Do fans need to brace themselves that some won't be Lions in the future? Yeah. I've had a group chat discussing this for the last couple of days of fellow beat writers. And it's interesting watching Kyle Hamilton get the giant contract he gets from Baltimore. And it's interesting that coming on the heels of Kirby being the highest paid safety in the league. I have a hard time. I think Brian Branch is a potential gold jacket type player. He's one of my favorite defenders to watch in this league. I have a hard time imagining them paying nearly $200 million to 2 safeties.
Yeah, that's going to be the one that for me is just like,
like, yeah.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Please, fans, do not come for me. But
what you could
I think that I think they're gonna try to go for that Super Bowl run, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think if they win it this year, I could see them try to trade Kirby at some point because you cannot let Brian Branch leave this building.
Whenever I think about Brian Branch, I kind of think about that too. I'm just like, that guy is everything they want.
I think he's a future gold jacket.
I mean, he really is that type of playmaker. The versatility, just pure playmaker. It's hard to imagine this roster without him on it. But that's a tough decision ahead because, like, I don't see Gibbs going nowhere.
No.
I don't see Hutch going nowhere. No. I don't see Laporta going anywhere. And after what's happened with Anzalone not getting a long-term or medium-term deal with an extra year on it, I don't think Jack Campbell's going anywhere either. The one wild card is J-Mo.
Yeah.
What's his contract? What does he do this year? How does that change? He is something that does not grow on trees.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, do you think they franchise him?
I don't know. I mean, I would.
If it came down to it.
I mean, if it came down to it, I would do anything to keep him on this roster.
Yeah.
Because the pairing with him and St. Brown, who is just the most dependable, locked in with his quarterback, disgusting route runner on the face of the planet, just pairs so well with what J-Mo can do. And, like, J-Mo's that guy that he delivered last year, man. Topped NFL deep threat with at least 40 catches, 1,000 yards. I don't know. There's some really tough decisions ahead. As you already saw, it kind of happened with Anzalone this summer.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be more tough conversations like that. And the one that I'm really just fascinated how Brad approaches, Is he willing to pay 180, 170 million plus to 2 combined safeties? That's tough. And I mean, that is why people ask about the Super Bowl window. I still think it's wide the frick open for the next 5 years. As I've said, as long as Sewell, St. Brown, Dan Campbell, and Aiden Hutchinson are here, you're in it. Like, and Jared Goff has worked himself into that conversation too. He's signed long term. They're going to be in it, but there is some tough decisions ahead. So, and that's going to be just another chapter of Brad Holmes' tenure as general manager, is adjusting to mega contracts, going from no contracts and just rookies to mega contracts 5 years later.
I mean, that just goes to show you how much this. That just goes to show you how much this franchise has turned around. You're going from the conversations of who can they get in the building to help them over, who can we, how can I put that? Of judging the importance of who has to stay. How can we keep these guys?
Yeah. I know it. They need to get going on that Hutchinson deal.
Oh yeah,
really freaking quick.
Because guys are getting paid, and you saw what he said.
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, it's exciting." That new Micah deal exciting? Hell yeah, it's exciting. Let's get a couple more questions in. Let's do a fun one from Office Space on Blue Sky. Which 6 players on the Lions would you take with you to meet up with the Sharks and Jets for a West Side Story dance-off?
First off, I'm taking Panay. It's at the top of my list. Everybody else.
Let's go back and forth on picks. You get Panay, give me Jameer Gibbs, just because of the touchdown dance on the pole in Chicago.
Ooh. You know what? You know who looks a little bit. You know what? I'm taking Meek with me. He looks a little scrappy.
I like that. Give me Kirby. You need a crazy wild card.
I need another, and I'm gonna go with the other hitter, Branch.
And let me do a fun one. Give me Graham Glasgow.
Oh, that'd be
potentially the funniest guy on that locker in that locker room, and also a beast.
That's what I'm about to say. Graham looks a little scrappy.
There you go. Hope you're happy with that. Office Space on Blue Sky. All right. Let's get out of here with another one from Phil on Blue Sky. How about a different spin on my Hendon Hooker question a couple weeks back? How does a team like Detroit deal with a succession plan for Goff? Goff certainly has some years left, but won't play forever. It's unlikely the Lions will get a top 10 draft pick anytime soon.
I want this one.
Go. Yeah, go.
Friends have been talking to me about this one. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't comment this one on Facebook. I think we're too far. I think we're actually far away from the Goff succession plan.
Yes.
He only turns 31 in like a couple of weeks. I think Goff is right now entering his prime.
His play style looks like someone who could play till he's 40.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't think you have to start really looking at the Goff succession plan until it's like 35, 36, something like that, or you're a Lions team that is floundering and not knocking on the door of success. You're missing playoffs and things like that. I mean, right now that's not the case. He's coming off of an MVP-esque season, and I just think that it's premature. Yes, you do want to have a viable backup behind him. I think that's ideal. But talking about the Goff succession plan, I think we're about 6 years away from that.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's a lesson Brad learned with the Hendon pick, is we didn't need this.
Yeah.
What was the ceiling for this guy here? What, he's going to start when he's 35?
Yeah, that's
so
yeah, him and Goff are like 3 years apart.
Exactly. And I think Dan Campbell said it pretty well the other day. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but he was asked about what he would look for in a QB3 and like thoughts on someone to build for the future. And it was like, I don't think it's so much someone to build for the future or someone that we know can come in and run the offense. And that to me tells me we don't need to plan for the future at quarterback. The future at quarterback is here, signed. Multi-year giant contract. That's why Kyle Allen is QB2. That's not a succession plan. That's why CJ Beathard just signed to the practice squad as QB3. That's not a succession plan. Those are game managers with experience who have played in multiple schemes, who go in there and hand the ball to Gibbs and Montgomery. If JMO's open deep, go for it. Otherwise, look for St. Brown and Laporta over the middle. Yeah, I'm with you. There is no succession plan at quarterback because the plan at quarterback's here, and he's here to stay.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. you got Goff right now going into his prime. He's coming off a season where
Crazy season.
if he did not have just the stinker in Houston
That they won.
that they won. He would have threw single-digit picks and probably would have won MVP.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think that game lost him MVP.
You take away 5 interceptions with a 15-win season and the stats that he had and 2,000-yard receivers and still running the ball at crap ton. Absolutely. I think this encapsulates why I always disliked the Hendon Booker pick. That's a third-round pick.
Third-round pick.
Go get a player. Not saying that Hendon can't be a player even still, but I'm just saying.
He wasn't a need.
There was no path here. He was not a stylistic fit with Goff and how the offense was running with Goff under center. It was going to take not just a year with him recovering from a knee injury, but it was going to take, as you saw, a year adjusting to an NFL offense from the Tennessee system of dancing in the pocket and waiting for somebody to break open. You can't do that in the NFL. So I think Brad hasn't said that, and he said he would still take his developmental swings in the draft if they believe in it, but I think he's learned you don't need to do that. You don't need a third-round backup quarterback for the future when your future is here. If Goff gets hurt, you're going to suck anyway. Exactly. It doesn't matter if there's a young quarterback you took in the second round behind him or not. You're still probably going to suck. So put everything into the roster, build it around Goff, enhance your defense, whatever. That's just takes me back to that Hooker pick. Like, damn, that's a third-round pick. There's talent in the third round, especially at positions of need around here, man. Go get an edge rusher. Jump.
I'm with you. I was never with the Hooker pick. Again, want to bring a viable backup in here like a Teddy Bridgewater or something like that. Yeah, go for it. I agree, but draft picks are guys that you're building to. Hey, we see him playing meaningful snaps here, especially if you take them in the third in the first 3 rounds.
Third round, absolutely.
I mean, so yeah.
I'm curious about that too. But yeah, there's no succession plan at quarterback. The plan is now.
Yeah,
the plan is now, and they plan for it to be for a while. I mean, that's something that they hope to not talk about for 5 years. So screw it.
I think it gets a lot of people because Goff has been he's been in the league for a while, but he's just young. He was just young.
He was young when he came in.
Yeah, he's been starting for quite a long time. So I think that's where people get kind of confused about his age. I'm like, no, Goff is not at the end of his career. No. He's just now really entering the prime of it.
He's not a mobile quarterback losing his elasticity and agility. Like, no, his play style, barring something unforeseen, is going to hold up for the long term. Yeah. So, there's your answer on that. Hope we did that one. We're going to get out of here with that. We gave you our predictions. We both have the Lions winning. Did you have them at 12-5 this season?
Yes.
One loss in the NFC North you had? I had 2 losses in the NFC North. Still 12-5. Still winning the division, both of us. If they win 12 games this year, celebrate. That schedule's wow.
That's what I was trying to I have 12. I had 12 as my ceiling, obviously, because I said 12-5, and I had 11 as my basement. I think even if you go on 11 or 12 wins with this schedule and the 2 new coordinators, that's a successful season.
The amount of sarcasm dripping on that, I hope came through on the microphone. Right. The Lions are confident in their 2 new coordinators. They don't feel like the sky is falling. Why should they? This roster's loaded. They're healthy. I mean, and they're going to get guys like McNeil back at some point this season. $100 million defensive lineman. They have a chance, if they avoid what happened last year, to get even better as the season goes on. And, I mean, John Morton speaks Dan Campbell's language. You hear Morton and Goff. RCE. RCE, what was it? It was recognize, communicate, and execute. Okay. That's their conversation method. So I don't know, guys. I feel like the familiarity. I feel like they're locked in. I don't doubt the 2 new coordinators, and I don't doubt Dan Campbell's ability to know if it's going right or wrong.
Absolutely. That's the key thing right there, is that of any coach that I've seen in this building with this team, Dan Campbell has the finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
Like anybody else, like the stuff that, and it's kind of funny that outside the building, when you see those guys do interviews, they always ask, "Is Dan Campbell really like that?" Yes. That's why his players play for him, because he's authentic. He's real. It's not coach speak. That's everything that he says, he truly believes it, and his players believe it, and it's proven in the results. So I mean, again, I got them winning a third straight NFC North title.
Same.
Get them just dropping one game to the Packers. That's just it.
I had them losing one to the Packers. The second one, I had them losing on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Apologies in advance for that. I just was like, this division's gonna be tough again. That schedule is brutal. They get to 12 wins. They get to 11 wins. Feel good. Because this schedule, I mean, it really is. You hear a lot of people talk about, oh, what a tough schedule in the preseason. The winning percentage is it. No, just look at the teams. Look at the trips. There's not a single 1 p.m. road game on the schedule this year. The schedule is bouncing around. It's prime time. It's Sunday night. It's Monday night. It's Thursday night. I mean, my goodness, the Eagles and Commanders in back-to-back weeks. The Bengals are in that mix too, and that's like one of the most slept-on teams in the league.
Chiefs.
And the Chiefs and the Ravens.
And all it's like this. If they go 12-5, win the NFC and win the North, I don't see how they could not be a Super Bowl favorite with this schedule.
Yeah. No. We're not just chugging the Kool-Aid for chugging purposes. I mean, we look at this roster and we look at Dan Campbell and we look at Brad Holmes, and it's like the foundation, the heartbeat, and the DNA is still here, and it's still beating hard. So that's it. We'll be back late Sunday from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Both of us. That's right.
Yeah, I'll be out there.
Yep.
First, I haven't been in Green Bay in about a few seasons, so it should be fun.
Yeah, a season opener at Lambeau. Lions, Packers.
Don't get no better than that.
As Dan Campbell said, and on the 8th day, God made Lambeau. So it'll be a fun trip. We'll be back Sunday night after the game. See your Dungeon of Doom podcast for MLive. Make sure to get those mailbag questions in to us on social media, dungeonofdoom@mlive.com. Our emails are on our weekly Roar newsletter. I don't care how you get our questions to us. Just get them to us. Yeah. We're going to be doing these mailbags every Thursday. Great questions today, guys. Thank you for the participation. We'll talk to you on the other side.